Auburn 94, Kentucky 78. Auburn is too good. I don't have any more setup for you. Auburn is too good. This team's ridiculous. They made 46% of their threes. Miles Kelly hit nine of them by himself. Chad Baker-Mazara had 22 points. Tahad Pettiford had 21 points. Three different Auburn players scored 21 or more points. Janai Broom barely was even needed in this game. He gave you just 9 and 6 with three steals in 33 minutes, and Auburn coasted in a game they led by 20 plus for much of. Kentucky led by 1 point 3 minutes into the game. That was their only lead of the game. Talk me into anything else being the story here. This was just Auburn being ridiculous,
It was Auburn being ridiculous. I do have one Kentucky positive though I like to throw out here.
which is what?
They made the calls into CBS to make sure that the final 10 minutes of this game got cut off on the look, Kentucky just didn't belong in this game, and I belong might be a tough stretch, but like Janai Broom was bad in this game, and you still got dog walked. And I mean, Auburn, for all the good things they do offensively, I mean, Miles Kelly was incredible in this game. They play all these guards and wings that shoot 40% from three. It's really hard to beat them. They shoot 46% in this game. Obviously, Kentucky is a defense optional team. But for the start of that second half, I think it got to like the 10-minute mark, and Kentucky had like 6 or 7 turnovers and no made field goals. I got to go look back at the stat. I think they scored their first field goal with like 16 minutes or like 12 minutes since the 7-minute mark in the first half. They could not take care of the basketball whatsoever, and a lot of the turnovers were just like silly ones, like Kobe Bryant dribbling off his leg, Andrew Clark throwing it inbounds to Lamont Butler. Lamont Butler fumbles it out of bounds when nobody's on him. Amari Williams trying to dribble and break down the defense and turning the ball over. Janai Broom took it from him. I mean, Amari Williams had 6 turnovers in this game. Lamont Butler had 5. They had 18 total as a team at home. Auburn's that good defensively. And then after the game, Jackson Robinson gets announced that he'll be out for the season for Kentucky. Just really, really tough for the Wildcats. It's a tough stretch.
Yeah. So I thought this was a really loud Amari Williams game in bad ways and also somewhat good ways, but mostly bad ways. 13 points, 7 for 13 from the free throw line, 14 rebounds is great, 7 assists is great. He had more assists than every other player on Kentucky combined. He had 6 turnovers as well. Between Amari Williams and Lamont Butler, who had 0 assists, you combined for 7 assists to 11 turnovers. Good luck with that. For the first time really this season, I thought Kentucky's lack of a real healthy answer at point guard was exposed. Now, Lamont Butler needs to be that guy, but this is a team that when Jackson Robinson's been healthy has run a lot of offense through him. If Jackson Robinson is now out for the season, I don't know what you do. Kirk Reese is not available. Like it all is going to fall on the shoulders of Lamont Butler. He's not really good enough to do that against great defenses. And then when you take some off his plate, it just goes to Amari Williams, who's all over the place. So the reality is that the answers aren't great for this Kentucky team with how banged up they are. And at the same time, something that I thought made this Kentucky team special in the non-con when they were healthy was they really had such a luxury of how much depth they had off the bench that they never played anybody 38 minutes. And if they were, kind of, if someone was struggling, you could just bench them and go to somebody else and hold them accountable for mistakes. This is one of the first games this season I feel like Kentucky was trying to play guys through constant mistakes. Like Lamont Butler was awful in this game, 4 for 13, 5 turnovers, getting torched defensively, and he played 32 minutes because there aren't any other options.
And
Mari
how and,
Williams,
and how many assists did Lamont Butler have?
zero. Zero. And Amari Williams, same thing. Like he was loud, you needed him, but we've seen more close splits between Amari and Brandon Garrison in the past. Now Brandon Garrison got 3 fouls in 12 minutes, but like this was just one of the first times all year I felt like Mark Pope had no answers. It was like, well, I'm going to ride my dogs, and my dogs aren't good enough. It's Auburn. I don't think that's going to happen against many other teams, but I don't recall a time this season Mark Pope's been out of answers before, and this game felt like that to me.
Yeah, and this Kentucky team, you want to bank on them being able to shoot, especially at home. And nobody made a three besides Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
They only got 17 attempts. I mean, Auburn was. I mean, let's not take it away because Auburn's that good. Like this team's incredible, like truly incredibly a great team. Um, but yeah, I don't know. You look. Kentucky's just got a lot of things going against them right now. Things are falling apart. The non-con is long gone. You're losing your best players for the season. You don't have answers. Guys are playing hurt. Obviously, Lamont Butler's got something going on because his shoulder's probably hanging on for dear life. He was just
Right.
bad in this game. So just I don't and not many pivots for Mark Pope in this one. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know where he goes.
And it's hard to blame any of the guys specifically because, as you mentioned, pretty sure Lamont Butler is just like playing through injury massively.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it just kind of is what it is. You feel bad for it. I don't feel like, mostly due to injury, I don't feel like we're going to get to see Kentucky at their best coming down to stretch run of March here, and that's frustrating given how good they were in the beginning of the season. And a lot of it seems like it was somewhat out of their control. At the same time, like, injuries are an excuse, and they can be the correct excuse. But Auburn lost their point guard in this game. Denver Jones played 8 minutes and exited the game, and I didn't see them skip a beat. So
It's levels. It's levels, you know. Like and for as great as Otega Owe was last game, you get 20 minutes, 4 fouls out of him in this game.
yeah,
You're not gonna beat you gotta beat Auburn. Like your best players gotta show up if you want to beat somebody. And they didn't do enough.
yeah, that's where I'm at too. You ready for a little Ewing theory? It-
Uh
Stark's theory, is that better?
no, let's go back to you in theory.
Well, there's a lot of different options. I don't know if you know where I'm going with this.
I think I do.
Doesn't no Denver Jones just mean more Todd Pettiford?
Yeah, I think you were
And
yeah.
that's way better for Auburn, right?
Yeah.
Now Denver Jones is good, but like Pettiford's been struggling for 3 games. Suddenly he's forced into just you're our starting point guard in this game, and he spits out 21 points, 4 assists, 0 turnovers in 33 minutes. Like if the end result of Denver Jones's injury means that we get an Auburn team that plays Miles Kelly and Todd Pettiford the whole game with Broom, Baker, Mazzara, and a big,
Mm.
that team rocks.
It does, but also like that's kind of the good part about it is like Pettiford has struggled the past 2 games. But like Denver Jones is giving you something. He's still a 40% 3-point shooter. So like you're
Denver's
getting
been great. I don't mean to disrespect him, but it just dawned on me in this game like, oh, Denver Jones is out. Oh, they're just going to play Pettiford the whole game.
yeah, that's how good they are. That they have that luxury instead of, with all due respect to Mark Pope is not getting a good performance out of Lamont Butler and he pivots to Noah.
Right. Yeah, Colin Chandler led the
While
team in
Bruce
bench minutes.
Pearl gets to pivot to Todd Pettiford.
Yeah, I mean, Colin Chandler led the team in bench minutes in this game, and respectfully to Colin Chandler, Kentucky's gone from a very deep team to one of the thinnest teams in the country very
Yeah,
quickly. So,
yeah, easily.
all right. Anything else on this?
Auburn good. Kentucky trouble. Big trouble.
Do you care about Janai Broom's quiet night?
Um, I'm I'm gonna say no.
Should Janai Broom's quiet night impact the National Player of the Year race?
Yes.
We talked about it on Friday. He's not the National Player of the Year. Like I'm sorry. If you go for 9-6 and you're super quiet, you don't score in the first half, and your team's up 20, how are you the National Player of the Year over Cooper MFing Flag, dog?
Yeah, no,
That's unacceptable to me.
Coop's National Player of the Year.
He's got to be. I thought this was the loud moment for that. We'll see if
Yeah,
the odds have swung back, but
Coop's National Player of the Year.
okay. All right. Congrats to Auburn. That team rocks. Congrats to Kentucky on a great season. Like, are we allowed to condemn the season at this point?
I'm on to my next season.
We'll just go watch Jasper Johnson highlights.
Yeah,
It's all
yeah,
gonna be okay.